In a chaotic world where emotions and challenges besiege us, stoic wisdom makes a defiant comeback. It teaches us something liberating. Sometimes to grow, we need to release the ties of certain relationships, even those with family or friends. This is an invitation not to isolation, but to authenticity and inner peace. Today, we will uncover 11 signs. It's time to cut ties. So get comfortable to fully absorb the content. Let's get started. Number 1. When relationships hinder your personal growth, it left us with a profound message: friendship that can end was never real. This quote invites us to ponder the essence of true friendship and family love. Both ideally should be pillars that sustain and guide us in the relentless pursuit of wisdom and virtue. However, it is crucial to be aware that at times, the relationships we maintain may end up diverting us from this path of growth when we realize that our emotional bonds are pulling us away from our true path. Deep and sincere reflection becomes essential. It is a moment to question and reevaluate these connections. This reassessment is not a simple process. It involves introspection and often the courage to make difficult decisions. It may be necessary to reconsider old bonds, question family dynamics, or even distance ourselves from friendships that, instead of contributing to our enrichment, pull us down. It is a process of self-discovery and, above all, self-appreciation. The crux of the matter is to understand that personal growth is intrinsically linked to the people we choose to share. Our journey with healthy and constructive relationships are those that encourage us to be better, positively challenge us, and above all, respect our essence and life goals. So when we encounter relationships that seem to hinder our progress, it is essential to remember the wisdom of Sana. We should seek genuine relationships, those that withstand the test of time and adversity, support in our quest for wisdom, and most importantly, walk alongside us toward virtue. It is a path of discoveries, challenges, and often necessary renewals. Number 2. When destructive emotions dominate the relationship. Delving into the realm of destructive emotions that can dominate relationships, it is opportune to bring to reflection of contemplation by Marcus Aurelius. One of the most celebrated representatives of Stoicism, Iism. He instructs us with words of great wisdom: you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This phrase is a vigorous reminder of the importance of maintaining control over our emotions and thoughts, especially in relationships permeated by feelings like anger, jealousy, or resentment. These negative emotions, when they become recurrent and dominant in our relationships, have the potential to distance you from our true inner strength. They trap you in a vicious cycle of reactions and automatic responses to situations that often lie beyond our control. Anger, jealousy, and resentment are feelings that, while human, can divert us from the path of self-control and serenity. The challenge here is to recognize these destructive emotions and understand that our reaction to them is under our control. As Marcus Aurelius teaches us, we cannot control external events, but we have complete mastery over how we choose to respond to these events. This requires a constant exercise of self-analysis and self-mastery, essential skills for maintaining mental and emotional health and challenging relationships. When we identify that a relationship is constantly leading us to these negative emotional states, it is crucial to assess the dynamics of that relationship. It is important to question whether this relationship positively contributes to our well-being and growth, or keeps us trapped in a state of constant emotional turmoil. Ultimately, when facing destructive emotions in our relationships, we must seek the inner strength that Marcus Aurelius mentions. This implies practicing patience, understanding, and empathy, but also establishing healthy boundaries and, if necessary, distancing ourselves from relationships that hinder us from reaching our full emotional and intellectual potential. It is a path of self-discovery and personal empowerment where we learn to value relationships that uplift us and to move away from those that diminish us. Number 3. If you are being manipulated or controlled Addressing the issue of manipulation and control in interpersonal relationships, it is crucial to consider the Stoic perspective on autonomy emphasized by Epicurus, one of the most notable philosophers of this school of thought. He advises us with a striking phrase, "No one is free who is not master of himself." This maxim reflects the essence of an individual freedom and self-governance, vital elements for well-being and personal development. Manipulation and control in any type of relationship are clear indication that autonomy is being compromised when we find ourselves in a dynamic where our decisions, thoughts, and actions are constantly influenced or dictated by someone else. We are facing a serious violation of our personal freedom. This scenario is antithetical to the principles of Stoicism, which value self-mastery and the independence of the individual. It is essential to recognize the signs of a manipulative or controlling relationship. They can manifest in various ways through constant criticism, diminishing self-esteem, isolation from friends and family, or even the imposition of decisions without considering the opinions of others. These behaviors not only erode self-confidence, but also imprison the individual in a cycle of emotional and psychological dependence. Awareness that one is in a relationship that limits personal autonomy is the first step to liberation. Epicurus reminds us that true freedom comes from being master of oneself, that this implies taking control of one's own life, establishing healthy boundaries, and, if necessary, ending relationships that deprive us of our essential freedom. Making the decision to end a manipulative relationship can be challenging and even painful. However, it is an act of courage and a crucial step in regaining control over one's own life. This process of liberation is a journey of self-discovery, self-affirmation, and above all, reaffirmation of one's own worth and independence. In summary, re-recognizing and distancing ourselves from relationships that manipulate or control us is an act of profound self-respect. Following Epictetus's advice, we should strive to be masters of our own lives, cultivating relationships that respect our autonomy and allow us to flourish to our full potential. Number 4. When the relationship does more harm than good. When discussing the dynamics of relationships that bring more harm than benefit, it is vital to emphasize the importance of inner well-being, being in each individual's journey. Toxic relationships, those that drain energy, cause constant emotional discomfort, and create a negative environment, are antithetical to the concept of personal growth and development. In this scenario, it is essential to understand that the constant presence of tension, unresolved conflicts, mutual disrespect, and lack of emotional support are indicative of a harmful relationship. Such dynamics not only hinder personal flourishing, but can also lead to a decline in mental and physical health. Toxicity in a relationship often manifests in SS, such as constant criticism, lack of empathy, manipulation, or even emotional abuse. These situations create a vicious cycle of negativity where the person feels trapped and unable to progress in their personal or professional life. The pursuit of inner well-being requires an environment that nurtures positivity, mutual support, respect, and above all, promotes mental and emotional health. When a relationship becomes an obstacle to achieving these aspects, it is a clear sign that change is a necessary making. The decision to distance oneself from a toxic relationship is an act of self-care and self-respect. Although this choice may be difficult and accompanied by feelings of guilt or fear, it is a crucial step in making room for healthy and constructive relationships that genuinely contribute to growth and well-being. The process of disengaging from a harmful relationship is also a moment of reflection and learning. It is an opportunity to strengthen self-esteem, reaffirm one's values and priorities, and gain a better understanding of the type of relationship that positively contributes to the journey of life. Therefore, it is essential to be attentive to the signs of a toxic relationship and have the courage to seek change when necessary. After all, the pursuit of inner well-being and personal growth should be a priority in our lives, and the relationships we cultivate play a crucial role in this process. Number 5. If there is a lack of mutual respect. The issue of mutual respect in interpersonal relationships is a crucial point. especially in light of Stoic principles that value dignity and self-control relationships, devoid of mutual respect, are incompatible with these values and can lead to an environment of misunderstanding, devaluation, and continuous tension. Respect is the foundation upon which healthy relationships are built. It involves an appreciation for differences, the ability to listen and understand the other person's point of view, and the practice of empathy and consideration. Without respect, communication becomes deficient, conflicts intensify, and harmony unravels. A relationship without mutual respect often manifests in forms of disdain, destructive criticism, disregard for the needs and feelings of the other, and even abusive behavior. These attitudes not only erode to the relationship, but also deeply affect the self-esteem and emotional well-being of the individuals involved. Stoic teachings remind us of the importance of maintaining dignity and self-control in all our interactions. This implies treating others with the same consideration, deal with situations as they are, and seek serenity within that understanding. Therefore, it is crucial to be aware of the signs that a relationship is based more on illusion than reality. Recognizing and distancing ourselves from such dynamics allows us to rediscover our path to a more authentic and satisfying life with the Stoic principles of acceptance and clear understanding of reality. Don't forget to leave your comment to help this content reach more people. Feel free to like and subscribe to keep receiving content that will aid in your mental growth. Let's keep going. Number 7, if you are compromising your values. Living in alignment with one's own values is a central aspect of Stoicism and a cornerstone for a fulfilling and meaningful life. When we find ourselves in relationships that force us to compromise or betray our core values, we are faced with a crucial dilemma that deserves careful reflection and reassessment. Personal values function as an internal compass, guiding our decisions, actions, and how we interact with the world around us. They reflect our deepest beliefs in what we consider important and true. When a relationship asks us to abandon or ignore these values, it not only compromises our personal integrity, but can also lead to a profound sense of dissatisfaction and discomfort. A relationship that demands the betrayal of values can manifest in various ways. It may involve being pressured to act contrary to what we believe is right, to tolerate behaviors we find unacceptable, or even to sacrifice important aspects of our identity. These concessions may seem small at first, but over time they can accumulate significant weight, affecting our self-esteem and sense of self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of living in harmony with our values. This means having the courage to make difficult choices, to distance ourselves from situations that divert us from our path, and to seek relationships that respect and reflect our most fundamental principles. Reassessing a relationship based on how it aligns with our values is not an easy task. It may involve internal conflicts, feelings of loyalty, fear of loneliness, or fear of change. However, staying true to one's values is essential for mental and emotional health and is a sign of self-respect and authenticity. Therefore, it is essential to be aware of how our relationships influence and reflect our values. When we realize that we are compromising our core values, we should seriously consider whether this relationship is beneficial for our personal growth and well-being. Choosing paths that align with our values is not only a Stoic principle, but also a vital step toward living a truly authentic and fulfilling life. Number 8. When the relationship is not reciprocal. Reciprocity in any relationship is a key factor for its health and sustainability. An imbalance, where one party constantly gives and the other constantly receives, creates a scenario of inequality that can be harmful and unsustainable. In the long run, balanced relationships are those in which both parties contribute and receive in a fair and equitable manner. This exchange doesn't always have to be exact or immediate, but there should be a general sense of mutuality and support. When one side is always in the role of the giver while the other remains the receiver, an unequal dynamic is created that can lead to feelings of resentment, exhaustion, and devaluation. This type of one-sided relationship can be evident in various forms, whether in emotional terms, where one person is always providing support while the other rarely reciprocates, or in practical terms, such as in daily tasks or in making important decisions. When the imbalance becomes the norm, the relationship ceases to be a partnership and becomes a burden for one of the parties. It's important to recognize the signs of a non-reciprocal relationship and address the issue. This may involve open conversations about needs and expectations, redefining boundaries and reciprocal responsibilities, and in some cases reconsidering the long-term viability of the relationship. In this context, it is crucial to remember that self-respect and self-esteem are also at stake, allowing oneself to constantly be in a position of giving without receiving due value. And consideration can erode one's own perception of worth, thus seeking balance in a relationship is not only a matter of fairness, but also an act of self-care, therefore to maintain healthy and enriching relationships. It is essential to seek reciprocity. Balanced relationships promote mutual growth, respect and satisfaction for both parties. These are the types of relationships we should aspire to and cultivate in our lives, both for our well-being and for the well-being of those we relate to. If you're enjoying this, don't miss out on the opportunity to purchase the ebook, Now Stoicism in the 21st Century, Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges, and unlock your prosperity, abundance, and improve your relationships with this ebook. Link in the pinned comment. Number 9. If there is any form of abuse in any of its forms is absolutely unacceptable in any relationship. Stoic wisdom, which emphasizes the importance of self-respect and dignity, clearly guides us to never tolerate abusive or harmful behaviors. Abuse can manifest in various ways: physical, emotional, verbal, psychological, or even financial, regardless of its form. It has a profoundly negative impact on the mental, physical, and emotional health of the person who experiences it. Abusive relationships are characterized by a pattern of control, intimidation, isolation, and fear. Stoic philosophy teaches us to value and respect ourselves. This implies recognizing our intrinsic worth and not accepting to be treated in a way that compromises our integrity or well-being. Being in an abusive relationship is being in an environment that constantly devalues and dehumanizes us, a scenario completely contrary to what the Stoics would consider a virtuous and dignified life. Recognizing that you are in an abusive relationship is the first step in seeking help and change. It is crucial to understand that abuse is never justifiable, and the responsibility for the abuse lies entirely with the abuser, not the victim. Seeking support, whether from friends, family, or professionals, is essential to get out of the situation. Leaving an abusive relationship can be challenging and requires courage and support. However, it is a vital step towards regaining self-esteem, self-respect, and freedom. The journey of recovering from an abusive relationship is also a journey of reaffirming one's own worth and strength. Therefore, it is essential to be aware of the signs of abuse and take immediate steps to protect yourself. Aligning with Stoic teachings of self-worth and self-respect is crucial on this journey. Living a dignified and respectful life, free from abuse, is a fundamental right for everyone. Number 10. When communication consistently fails. Effective communication is a vital element in any healthy relationship. When we encounter situations where communication consistently fails, whether it's one-sided or continuously conflict-ridden, we face a serious obstacle to harmony and mutual understanding, essential elements, according to Stoic philosophy in a relationship, where communication is deficient. Misunderstandings, frustrations, and resentments often arise. One-sided communication, where one party dominates the conversation or doesn't allow space for the other to express themselves, creates a harmful imbalance. Similarly, communication marked by constant conflicts and an inability to reach common ground can be exhausting and draining the Stoics' value harmony and balance both internally and in relationships with others. They advocate the idea that we should seek understanding and peaceful dialogue, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and promote an environment of mutual respect. If effective communication is essential to achieve these goals to improve communication in a relationship, it's crucial to practice active listening, express oneself clearly and respectfully, and be open to dialogue and understanding the other person's point of view. This includes the ability to openly discuss problems, share feelings and needs, and work together to find constructive solutions. When communication consistently fails, and efforts to improve it are unsuccessful, it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. In some cases, seeking the help of a professional such as a couples therapist or counselor can be beneficial in overcoming these communication barriers. Therefore, maintaining healthy and effective communication is fundamental to the health and longevity of any relationship. This is a crucial aspect not only for individual well-being, but also for building harmonious and enriching relationships in alignment with Stoic teachings of balance and mutual understanding. Number 11. If the relationship disrupts your tranquility, serenity, and inner tranquility are fundamental goals in Stoic philosophy, and their preservation is essential for a fulfilling and balanced life. When we find ourselves in relationships that constantly disturb our inner peace, it's a clear sign that these relationships need to be carefully questioned and, if necessary, re-evaluated or even terminated. Relationships that cause continuous internal turbulence, whether through constant conflicts, anxiety, stress, or insecurity, are at odds with the Stoic principle of seeking serenity. Stoic philosophy teaches us to value emotional balance and maintain inner calm, even in the face of challenging external circumstances. A relationship that is a constant source of disturbance hinders the cultivation of this serenity. It can lead to a chronic state of emotional discomfort, affecting not only our mental health, but also our ability to enjoy life and engage in meaningful activities. In this context, it's important to assess the impact of the relationship on our well-being. This includes reflecting on how the relationship affects us emotionally, whether there is a pattern of negativity that cannot be resolved, and whether efforts to improve the relationship dynamics have been fruitless. The decision to end a relationship is never easy, especially when deep feelings are involved. However, Stoic philosophy encourages us to make decisions that are in line with our well-being and inner peace. This may mean distancing ourselves from relationships that are detrimental to our tranquility. It's essential to remember that seeking serenity is not an act of selfishness, but an important step for self-preservation and living according to our higher principles. Therefore, when facing relationships that constantly disrupt our tranquility, we should have the courage to make difficult choices, always striving for a state of inner peace and balance. Upon reflecting on the depth and wisdom of Epictetus's words, the first and greatest victory is to conquer oneself. We understand that the end of a relationship is not a failure, but rather a courageous step toward authenticity and personal wisdom. This journey, though challenging, is an opportunity for growth and reaffirmation of our highest values and principles. Remember that every choice we make, especially those that lead us to end situations that harm us, is an act of courage and profound self-respect. Embracing this Stoic journey not only safeguards our well-being, but also opens us up to a more virtuous and fulfilling life. Therefore, if you enjoyed our content, subscribe, enable notifications, and become part of our community. This is just the beginning of an incredible journey of self-discovery and growth. I look forward to sharing more with you and continuing our shared quest for a richer and more meaningful life. See you in the next video.